Hello everyone, this is revision class of elements of machine design and theory of machine subject for 4 some students, and in this video I am going to explain unit 4 transmission of power. So in this video some questions I have taken from the question banks which may comes for your forthcoming semester exams, because those are very much important. Okay, let us start with first question. Define the following terms: velocity ratio, slip and creep. So these are the some definitions. Okay, first, velocity ratio. It is the ratio between the velocities of the driver and the follower. So here follower is driven, means that ratio between the velocities of the driver and driven, that is said to be velocity ratio. Okay, and it is indicated as d1 as a diameter of the driver and d2 as a diameter of the follower. Next definition, slip. The motion of the belt and the shaft assuming a firm frictional grip between the belts. Okay, it should be firm frictional grip and the shafts, but between the belt and shaft we should have some frictional grip, but sometimes the frictional grip becomes insufficient because of some other effects. Okay, insufficient grip we are having. This may cause some forward motion of the driver without carrying the belt with it. This may cause some forward motion of the belt without carrying the driven pulley with it. This is called as slip of the belt, and generally it is expressed as in terms of percentage. Okay, this is regarding slip. Then third, creep. When the belt passes from the slack side to the tight side, a certain portion of the belt extend. It contracts again when the belt passes from the tight side to slack side. Due to these changes of the length, there is relative motion between the belt and the pulley surfaces. This relative motion is termed as creep. Okay, so these are the important terms. So you just go through the previous question papers, you come to know that these questions asked many times. Okay, so for that sake it is important. Next question, list the advantages of the flat belt over V belt drive. Okay, what are the advantages of the V belts over the flat belt or else V belt? Okay, so the V belt drive gives the compactness due to the small distance between the center of the pulleys. So this type of advantage we are having over that flat belt. The distance between the center pulleys are very much small, so because of that one we are having the more strength. Second, the drive is positive because the slip between the belt and the pulley groove is negligible. Third, since the V belt made endless, okay, it is made endless, and there is no joint trouble, therefore the drive is smooth. Fourth, it provides longer life, 3 to 5 years. Okay, it is having longer life. It can be easily installed and removed. It is very easy to install as well as remove. The operation of the belt and the pulley is quiet, means that no any kind of vibration may be arises during the working time, so no any other distraction will be occurs. The belts have the ability to cushioning the shock when the machines are started. Okay, so there is no cushioning ability there. The high velocity ratio may be obtained. High velocity we can have from this kind of belt. The wedging action of the belt in the groove gives the high value of the limiting ratio of the tensions. So while using this kind of belts we are getting very less amount of tensions. The V belt may be operated in either directions with tight side of the belt at the top or bottom. Okay, V belt may be operated either direction with tight side or of the belt and the top or bottom side. Okay, these are the some advantages of the flat belt over V belt drive. Okay, then next, so not visible clearly, list and explain the different belt materials. Okay, so in previous whatever I explained, these two questions for 5 marks I think. Okay, you just refer and read the notes clearly, you come to know. So next question, list and explain the different belt materials. So here some leathers given, means that some types of the leathers are given. Leather belts, okay, cotton or fabric belts, rubber belt, balata belts are the some types of the belt materials. The most important material for the belt is leather, as you know already. Okay, so materials are almost made from leathers only. Okay, as you know already, and the procedure is given in the notes, you just read it. And second, cotton or fabric belts. Most of the fabric belts are made by the folding canvas to the 3 or more layers. Okay, it is made from the that fabric belt and made with 3 or 4 layers, which will gives the maximum strength, and stitching together that will gives the more strength. Then third, rubber belt. The rubber belts are made of layers of fabric impregnated with rubber composition, means that which is composition of the rubber belts and made with layers of the fabric impregnated, means that so other than rubber other materials are used. Okay, which are compressed and have a thin layer of rubber on the faces. These belts are very flexible but are quickly destroyed if allowed to come into contact with heat, oil or grease. One of the principal advantage of these belts is that they may be easily made endless. Then fourth, balata. Belts are similar to rubber, means that balata just like that rubber, except that balata gum is used in place of rubber. These belts are acid proof and waterproof, and it is not affected by animal oils, alkalis. The balata belt should not be at temperature above 40 degrees centigrade is to be used. Okay, because at this temperature balata begins soften, it will starts softening and becomes sticky. The strength of the balata is 25% of the higher than that rubber belt. Okay, so these are the 4 types of the belt materials. Okay, and this question may ask for 5 marks. Next question, explain open belt and cross belt drives. Figure shows that open belt drive. Okay, you have to practice this sketch for your reference, means that which will helps to understand the concept very clearly. In open belt drive is used with the shaft arranged parallel and rotating in the same direction. In this case, the driver A pulley the belt from one side and the delivers to the other side. Thus, the tension in the lower side belt will be more than that in the upper belt side belt. The lower side of the belt is known as tight side. Okay, so whatever we are using in the lower side portion is called as tight side, and in upper side portion is called as slack side. Okay, slack side. So this is all about open belt drive. Okay, so you have to more concentrate on this driver and driven pulley. So whenever this driver pulley starts rotating, this driven pulley also starts rotating, and below portion of this belt is called as tight side, and above portion of this belt is called as slack side. You have to remember these 3-4 labelings, means that parts of this belt drives. Okay, next cross belt drive. So figure shows this cross belt drive, and also it is called as twist belt drive. Okay, in this case the driver pulley the belt from one side and delivers it to the other side. Thus the tension in the belt RQ will be more than that in the belt LM. Just see the diagram, labeling is done LM RQ, okay, like that mentioned, and with respect to that working you have to explain. So here the belt RQ is known as tight side, and where LM is known as slack side. In the figure itself it is clearly shown. Okay, so here is that this L and M portion is called as slack side, and this below portion is from Q and R, that is called as tight side. A little consideration will show that at the point where the belt crosses, it rubs against each other, means that at this condition, okay, rubbing action will be taking place at each other, means that tight side and slack side will be rubbing action will be taking place. So there will be some excessive wear and tear. In order to avoid this, shaft should be placed at a maximum distance, okay, of 20 B, means that B is width of the belt, and the speed of the belt should be less than 15 meter per second. So this is all about cross belt drive. So here you should remember belts are fixed, means that in terms of cross, and this portion is called as slack side, and this portion is called as tight side. Okay, like that, and labeling you have to draw driver and driven, and directions also you need to show, means that anti-clockwise both are starts rotating. Okay, so this is all about explanation regarding open belt and cross belt drive. So this question may comes for 10 marks, okay, because two questions are merged. So that's why you have to practice these figures, then only you are going to draw. Next, moving on to the next question. What are the factors considered in a selection of the belt drive? Okay, while selection of the belt drive, what factors should we consider? Okay, so here are the some factors are given. Speed of the driving and driven shafts. Okay, first we should consider driver and driven pulleys speed. Then second, speed reduction ratio should be understand first. Okay, then we can select the belt. Power to be transmitted. What type of power should be transmitted with the help of that belt drive, that we need to first study. Then fourth, center distance between the shaft. How much the center we are keeping for transmitting one pulley to another pulley. Okay, that distance also plays important role. So that's why center distance between the shaft is very much important. Positive drive requirements. What type of other requirements rather than these four conditions, that positive drive requirements should be required. Then shaft layout. Then shaft layout also should be considered, because how much distance is required, how much space is required, and any other distractions like keeping in these things in our mind, that selection should be made. Space availability, okay, how much the space is available, that should be considered. And service conditions, If any conditions, if any some maintenance work arised at that time, service available or not, that checking is very much necessary. Okay, so these are the some points through which that considerations or selection of the belt drive is to be made. Okay, so you have to remember these factors, and this question may ask for 5 marks. Moving on to the next question. Centrifugal tension of the belt. Explain centrifugal tension of the belt. You have to draw this diagram, okay, which is very much important. Then next, explanation what is centrifugal tension, like that. Okay, since the belt continuously runs, okay, so whenever we are taking the work from that belt while it is running, okay, that is continuously runs over the pulley, therefore some centrifugal force is caused, okay, as you know already, because of that continuous workage, continuous central working will be taking place, central force is caused, whose effect is to increase the tension on both sides, where actually tight side as well as slack side. The tension caused by the centrifugal force is called centrifugal tension. Okay, so this is centrifugal tension given here. You have to must write that definition. Okay, then draw this diagram. This FC indicates centrifugal force. Then centrifugal tension is very small, but higher belt speed more than 10 meter per second, its effect is considerable and thus should be taken into account. So here some derivations is required, means that some clear identification, means final this you have to just remember this formula. Okay, just you have to write the notifications, what is that M indicates, V indicates, R indicates. Okay, so here let M is mass of the belt per unit length in terms of kg, V is linear velocity of the belt in terms of meter per second, and small r radius of the pulley over which the belt runs in meters, and Tc centrifugal tension acting tangentially at P and Q in newtons. Okay, that portion PQ of the belt subtending an angle d theta center of the pulley, that is shown in that figure, and considering that length of the belt PQ. Okay, so here nothing but R into d theta, so R in terms of M into R and d theta as it is centrifugal and the mass of the belt PQ, just you have to write that equation MR into d theta, and centrifugal force acting on the belt PQ, finally Fc is equal to MR d theta V square divided by R, and finally equation is M d theta V square. Okay, you have to remember this formula. Okay, if suppose he asked explain centrifugal tension of the belt, you have to draw the sketch as well as explanation like this. Okay, this may ask for 10 marks definitely. Next, we'll go with the problems directly. Okay, so these are the some theory questions. Okay, apart from those only they will going to ask some questions. Okay, next, problems. First problem, an engine running at 150 rpm drives a line shaft by means of belt. The engine pulley is 750 mm diameter and the pulley on the line shaft being 450 mm. A 900 mm diameter pulley on the line shaft drives a 150 mm diameter keyed to a dynamo shaft. Find the speed of the dynamo shaft when 1 meter. There is no slip, and second, there is no slip of the 2% of each drive. Okay, so this is the given problem. You have to read the problem carefully, okay, and analyze what type of data he is given, okay, what type of problem it is, and what to find. Like that you have to analyze yourself. Okay, first you need to write the given datas. Okay, so in this problem the given datas are n1 is equal to 150 rpm, d1 750 mm, d2 450 mm, d3 900 mm, d4 150 mm. Okay, and n4 is speed of the dynamo shaft we need to find. Okay, and some conditions is given. There is no slip and there is a slip. Okay, two conditions are given. Okay, we need to find that n4 speed of the dynamo of the shaft. Okay, first, when there is no slip, you have to remember this formula. Okay, at the side of the page you just write down all the formulas. Okay, and regularly you have to read those formulas. Okay, if possible you have to buy it those formulas, because those are very much essential while solving the problems. Okay, apart from that, this one is very much needed. So here you have to use this formula n4 by n1, because number of pulleys are 4, so that's why n4 by n1 and d1 into d3 d2 by d4. Okay, so make it alternate and substitute all the datas and find out the n4 values. So here 1500 rpm we are getting when there is no slip. Okay, if slip is added with 2% at each drive, so you have to use this formula, that is n4 by n1 is equal to d1 into d3 divided by d2 into d4 and into 1 into bracket 1 minus s1 divided by 100 close the bracket and 1 minus s2 by 100. Solve these all things and you will going to get n4 is equal to 1440 rpm. Okay, both are nearer to each other, means that our answer is very much correct. Okay, when there is no slip 1500 rpm we are getting n4 value, and when there is a slip of 2% at each drive is given, at that time we are getting n4 value is 1440 rpm. Okay, so this type of problems may ask for 10 marks. You just remember these two formulas, okay, which will gives you to solve the problem very clearly. Okay, next question. Second problem, the power is transmitted from a pulley 1 meter diameter running at 200 rpm to a pulley 2.25 meter diameter by means of a belt. Find the speed lost by the driven pulley as a result of creep if the stress on the tight and slack side of the belt is 1.4 meter per and 0.5 MPa respectively. The Young's modulus for the material of the belt is 100 megapascal. Okay, so this is the given problem. You have to read the problem carefully and write the given datas. Okay, first read the problem 2 or 3 times, means that you are going to understand the problem clearly. Okay, write down the given datas. So here in this problem the datas are d1 is equal to 1 meter, n1 200 rpm, d2 2.25 meter and sigma 1 1.4 megapascal, that you have to convert in terms of meter square, and sigma 2 0.5 and Young's modulus E is equal to 100 megapascal. Okay, you have to convert in terms of meter square, and n4 n2 speed of the driven pulley we need to find. Okay, So neglecting the creep, we know that with the help of that condition only you have to use the formula n2 by n1 is equal to d1 by d2. Okay, with respect to that n2 you have to find. So while neglecting the creep, we are going to get 88.9 rpm, and considering the creep you have to use this formula n2 by n1 d1 by d2 into e plus sigma 2 divided by e plus square root of sigma 1. Okay, and make a alternative n2 is equal to, substitute all the values, and you will going to get answer is 88.7 rpm. Okay, then these two are neglecting the creep and considering the creep values. Okay, both are very much near. Then we can think that answer is correct. Then we need to find speed lost by the driven pulley due to creep. Okay, we should do the minus from that n2 values. Okay, larger one is 88.9 minus 88.7, 0.2% rpm is lost. Okay, that is the final answer. So this type of questions ask for 10 marks. Next, moving on to the next problem. Find the power transmitted by the belt running over the pulley of 600 mm diameter at 200 rpm. The coefficient of friction between the belt and the pulley is 0.25. Angle of lap is 160 degree, and maximum tension in the belt is 2500 Newton. Okay, so this is the given problem. First, understand what to find. Okay, what the given data is given, like that. Okay, so here given data are diameter d, n, mu, theta and t1. Okay, with the help of these we need to find maximum tension in the belt. Okay, transmitted by the belt, or P we need to find. And start with velocity V, because you have to remember this formula while supposed to ask power transmitted by the belt. Okay, power P is equal to T1 minus T2 into V. At that time you have to use this formula, and you have to first find velocity V with the help of this formula. V is equal to pi dn divided by 60. Okay, then add all the values in this formula and find V. Velocity V is equal to 6.284 meter per second. Then T2, you have to use this formula for T2 finding, 2.3 log of T1 by T2 is equal to mu theta. Then substitute the datas, that we're going to get T2 value 1244 Newton. Okay, and finally after finding the values of T2 as well as velocity V, just add those values in power P formula. Okay, and after adding all the datas and finding the power transmitted value is 7.89 kilowatt. Okay, so this is the final answer, 7.89 kilowatt. So this type of problem asked for 10 marks. While solving the problems, you have to first read the problems 2 or 3 times, then write down the given data, what he asked, supposed to ask. Okay, that you should understand. Then using the formulas are plays the very important role. Okay, so that's why I'm telling you have to write down all the formulas either side of the your page. Okay, in your fair book, then you have to buy at those formulas, list of the formulas. Okay, then which will going to help for your exams. So this is all about some questions selected from your question bank, theory as well as problems. Okay, these all questions are very much important for exam point of view. Okay, so you have to read, you have to practice the sketches and explanation. Okay, solve the problems number of times, then only it will becomes very easy for your solving all the questions. Okay, so this is all about power transmission. Do the study regularly. Okay, thank you one and all.